This video is about us, the events we've attended and what we've actually done out in the field with holistic legs maintenance. Here's a picture of Tony Mangan and myself. Tony is a world runner who spent 4 years running around the world. I worked with him from Melbourne up to Darwin through the centre of Australia, and eventually in 2014 I went to Ireland and had a run round the bottom part of Ireland with him until he finished the Dublin Marathon. On the run around Ireland, Jesper Olsen joined us for 2 weeks, and it's the first time that two world runners have been on the road actually together. And this is a red couch that we found in this gateway when we want to stop for rest. After Tony finished his world run, I went to Florida 6 days to do some work with Jesper, who was running in the event. In 2004, I got asked to do a bit of work with Jesper Olsen on his World Run 1, and what happened was that I went there from Sale through to a place called Codrington in the Western District, and later on I ended up going to working with him in France and Denmark. Here I am giving a workshop on legs maintenance in Mors in Denmark. After Denmark, I went to look after the Danish national running team in Montreal and at the World Championships. And the bench here is what actually I lived and worked at for 24 hours. The Nanango 1000 miles in Queensland in Australia in 1996 was where I actually got through 3 of the world's top runners underwater over 1,000 miles using holistic light manual muscle relaxation for legs maintenance. In 2011, I joined Dr. Godby and his 2 sons and nephew for a run across America from San Francisco to Bridgeport to raise awareness of the state of America's health, and we did events on the way over. An event I've been involved with for many years, even up until 2015, is the Coburg, Australia 24-hour event. This is one of my official events that I attend, and I work the full 24 hours there usually. The Australian Centurion Race Walkers is another of my official events I work with, and I'm still doing that from 2000 up until the present day. Again, I work usually the full 24 hours to keep their legs maintained and keep them on the track. The Colac 6-day run was where I actually developed holistic light manual muscle relaxation. I worked there in 1993, 94, 95 was the year I actually managed to develop that. It is also included the result sheet and the difference it made to the runners and walkers. In 2014, after being in Ireland with Jesper Olsen and with Tony Mangan, I went to Florida, and This is the first Fort Lauderdale 6-day event that they held, and of course this is going to be an official run for me for however long. The Adelaide 6-day event in the state of South Australia was the first 6-day event that they ran in Australia since the Colac 6-day closed down, and I was the official lake recovery and lake maintenance person at this event. This is a reference from Tony Mangan, who I went with on his run around the world from Melbourne to Darwin up through the centre. From here, Tony went on to run the rest of the world on his world run until I went and joined him in the south of Ireland for the last 3 weeks of his world run until he finished at Dublin Marathon. This is a reference from Tony Mangan, who I worked with from Melbourne to Darwin and up to the centre of Australia. And after Tony left Darwin, he went on to run around the rest of the world that he had to do, and I went and joined him for the last 3 weeks of his around Southern Ireland until he finished up at the Dublin Marathon. This is from the Australian Centurion Race Walkers, and I've been involved with the Australian Race Walkers for many years now, and walkers tend to get a bit more of a problem than runners because they keep their legs straight and they have to keep hooked on the floor all the time. So I look after their run for many years now. In 1996 I started looking after the Coburg 24-hour events, and except for the times when I've been overseas working at other events, I've always been there, including up to the present date. At the Nanango 1,000 miles, I helped to get Sandra back on her feet again when her legs stopped working, and fixed the blisters up, and managed to get her back out on the track again. So she went off and broke the 1,000-mile world record for a lady walker. This lady Narelle, she was a driver when I was on their road with the Royal Runners from over in the West Australia on the Nullarbor Plain back to Melbourne, and she found out what the system could do, and she came to 24-hour run and actually watched what was happening and was quite impressed. The theory of holistic legs maintenance is that the feet, leg, body and head are all connected, and because it's a complex organism interlinked by various systems from head to toes, what affects one part affects it all. So if the legs start to get fatigued, the systems start to separate, and resulting in poor coordination and difficulty in completing any tasks. Holistic legs maintenance brings them back together again, very simply and very easily.